Welcome back, everybody, to the show. Hello, J-Bomb.
Hi.
How's it going this week?
It's going. It's just a week, killing bugs and shit.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm tired after this week. My sleep schedule has been so messed up this week.
I'm exhausted, dude. This week's been beating my ass.
I know the joke is like, oh, Puddy sleeps a lot, whatever. Haha. But, dude, fuck, like, I slept from like 1 to 8 yesterday because the night before I didn't sleep.
Really?
Yeah. It was dumb, but we'll talk about that here we'll talk about more stuff here in just a minute. But welcome, everybody, to J-Bomb and Puddy Save the Planet.
Hello.
I am Puddy. That was J-Bomb.
That's me.
We are endorsed by Mountain Artist Democracy, official KJX3 original podcast. Welcome back to the show for anybody that has listened to us before. And welcome to any new listeners that are just checking us out for the first time this week.
And the last time.
And the last time, because they'll listen to the first 5 minutes, just be like, ugh.
Yeah, what the
gross.
fuck are these guys talking about?
Why did I ever turn on this podcast? What am I doing?
Yeah, because, J-Bomb and Puddy Save the Planet is just that name that grabs your attention, so you got to check it out. Then you're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, whoa, that's an interesting name. That's kind of funny. You listen to us for 5 to 10 seconds later after listening, you're just like, oh, God. A bunch of dumb idiots that have more southern accents that sound terrible online. Ugh. I don't even know if I have a southern accent. I try not to.
Bunch of rednecks in the two Virginias.
Basically.
I don't really think I have too much of an accent most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But like with my job, when I get around certain people that talk with a real southern accent, for some reason my brain just starts changing over to that.
Everybody does that.
Pretty damn bad, yeah.
Everybody does that. Like if we went to England and stayed there for a generally long period of time, we'd all sound British when we came back.
Yeah, we'd be all pip pip cheerio,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just depends, and that's totally a brain thing. We talked about this. I have a voice and diction class this week, or this semester, and we talked about that. And it's like it just depends on where you're at and who you're around and what you talk about and stuff. Because if we went to like California, or if we went to just up north here, closer to like New York or something, they would 100% tell that we're not from there, and we're just like,
oh, yeah.
We think we sound normal compared to everyone else that we live around, and I don't know.
I spent a month in Pennsylvania. I spent a week in New Jersey and in New York,
mm-hmm.
and like compared to people here where I live, I don't really have much of an accent. You go up there and you say one sentence in front of somebody from New Jersey, and they're like, "You're from down south, aren't you?"
Exactly. It's just crazy because we listen to how other people talk, and then we listen to how we talk, and we think we sound generally normal compared to everyone. But then you go just even in your same country, just to a different part of the country, and it's so weird how different you sound compared to everybody else. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now, I will say one cool thing about New York and New Jersey. If you go to New York and New Jersey and you got a southern accent, every female in the entire state wants your phone number and wants to take you out to dinner, and it's crazy. Like,
now, is this legitimate?
Love it.
Is this?
Yeah, it's legit. I was in a call center in Pine Brook, New Jersey, and I got up and did a presentation, and after I was done, every girl in that class was like, "So how long are you staying up here in New Jersey?" And I'm like, "A week." And they're like, "Well, here, give me a call if you ain't got nothing." I'm like, "What the hell is this?"
Damn, dude, you're a swinger at that point.
Back home, I can't get no damn body. I've been single for 3 years.
Yeah.
Go to Jersey and I can get anybody I want.
That's why there are plenty more fish in the sea, but you're only stuck in one pond.
No, if I didn't have my 3 kids here, or I had full custody of my kids, we'd be jumping to a different pond.
You'd be in that sea of poontang.
Yeah, man. You go to New Jersey, man. Any guy with a Southern accent in New Jersey, and I'm not just talking about any girls. I'm talking about hot girls. They go crazy for this shit. It blew my damn mind. I was like, what the hell has happened here?
I wish I'd have been paying more attention to that when we were in Philadelphia. Now, to be fair, though, Philly is still kind of around our area. It kind of is. It's getting up there.
But they speak different, too, though. They
not
have
really.
They got a real... It's a more northern dialect in Pennsylvania.
See, I didn't hear that from the people we talked to. But to be fair,
really?
The guy that I was with and myself for the MBS convention last year, we didn't talk to many people on that trip because it was just us, and we didn't really want to know anything. We just wanted to be there for the convention and everything. So we didn't talk to too many people. We saw one person that was from Marshall University there, and we talked to him for like less than 5 minutes.
Really?
So maybe if we would have grew some balls and actually talked to people, I guess that really isn't politically correct, but you know what I mean.
Well, when I was in Pennsylvania, I was smack dab in the middle of the state.
Yeah.
And I spoke to one person and, just talking like I do right now. And they were like, well, hell, Jethro, where the hell you from, buddy? And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Here we go.
We got ourselves a smart ass. He's like, I bet you're from West by God, Virginia, ain't you? I was like, Virginia, fucker. What are you about to say about it?
We're from the people that were actually for the Confederacy.
Yeah. I'm not happy with my state at this moment, so they want to take my guns and shit. Fuck them.
Hey, let's not get into politics and let's talk about topics we're going to talk about today. Woo! So today on the episode here, we have some technical issues that happened throughout the week. We'll go into detail about that here in just a moment. Then we're going to talk about some upcoming film and TV studios, more film studios, in particular one that I think has done an excellent job within the past year. Then we got to talk about a certain interview that happened. Yes, it is wrestling related. Make sure to come back when we're done. And then we have some advice that relates to that interview, but it mostly leads for in general stuff. So makes sense. Good podcast coming up, I think. Let us get into this. I think we're already having a good start into it.
Oh yeah.
We're taking the left turn towards political talk. We need to steer right and back in the right direction because.
Hey, we touch on politics every now and then.
I mean, we absolutely touched on politics on the episode whenever we were on break.
Yeah.
But that was a special one. We don't usually do that. And I know what's going to happen if we don't go back to our old ways of talking what we usually talk about. It's either going to be two things. One, we're going to have a divisive audience, and I don't want that. And two, people are going to be like, no, they talk about politics. I don't want to listen to them anymore. Which is bullshit because I think that we should be able to talk about whatever we want without people getting irritated, but that's not how stuff like this works.
Nah.
Shit happens, kids clapping, I guess.
Whatever.
It is what it is. But
Can't please them all, man. Can't please them all.
But hey, how about that podcast not going out to anybody this week? Speak of the podcast and okay, so last week I will say I liked the episode, but I was very negative in it. And what a shock that the episode I feel like I was more negative than usual in. I find out 2 days ago it's not on Spotify. I'm just like, what are you talking about? It should be. Spotify or Anchor always puts it on as soon as I write down the information and stuff. So I checked Anchor to see what the issue was. I just saw, and I would look to see what the podcast is on. We are available. The J1 Puddy Save the Planet is available on 9 different podcasting apps and YouTube. But YouTube I have to download or upload separately. So they're on 9 that Anchor will upload to by itself. Then I think I've also put it on TuneIn Radio, which Anchor doesn't affiliate with, I don't think, but it's on there too. I'm not going to mention TuneIn after that because they're not part of the 9, but of the 9 that they state, it's now only finally getting out to other apps, and right now it's only available on 5 of the 9 available apps that I saw. So I don't know what the issue is. I did see that I didn't label like what episode number it is and what season it is and if it's for kids or not. I don't know if that is an issue.
That might be a problem.
That might have been because I put that info in last night, or it was either last night or yesterday day. Can't really remember right offhand, but I put that information in, and that's whenever I finally now saw that it was on Spotify. So I guess I have to make sure that all that information is in, which I usually do. I guess I just missed it this week, so my bad.
I'd say the biggest one is the whole, whether it's for kids or not, is probably the biggest part of that.
That makes sense, and it has a thing where like if I put it clean, it will still go on, but there's an explicit one, and I always put our episodes explicit, obviously.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know if it can detect whether or not it's not, and you're lying about it. I don't know, but it wasn't going out, and as soon as I put it on explicit and I put what episode it is, what season it's on, boom, it's starting to distribute now. So, again,
I'd say they have people that listen to it, and if it's explicit and it wasn't marked as explicit, they won't put it up.
I assume so, but it was on Anchor. I mean, the only podcasting app it was on for, I would say, a good 5 days of the 7 that it's been out. At this point, wait, hold on. I'm getting my. No, that's right. I'd say that it's been just on Anchor, but that's the one that usually starts on. So I don't know. Maybe you have to, and then distributors can finally get a hold of it once all the information's put in. I have no idea, but it should be slowly starting to come on to all these podcasting apps that people like to use. The one we checked before the episode. It is available now on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Overcast, and Anchor, of course. And then the other ones, the biggest one being Google Podcast, it's not available on. So it's a slow process right now. Again, want to apologize for the hold-up for Memoir of Puddy. That's the episode name. So if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it after this podcast. And yeah, I just wanted to give everybody an update on that.
Consider yourself updated.
I need to make better sure that these episodes have all the information they need so they can actually go out, because that sucks. Because our podcast is doing relatively well for us being such a small podcast. We're doing relatively well, I think, still.
Yeah, considering we're not really like celebrities or anything, so.
I got a cool update for you, by the way, when it comes to the show. So, one of my friends is in the military and stuff. I think he right now is over in, I don't know if it's Afghanistan or something. I can't remember. He's over somewhere in the Middle East, and he's allowed to use his phone every now and then.
Uh-huh.
And he told me on Snapchat that he's going to let some of the people that he's in there with listen to the podcast and try to get them to listen to it too. I'm just like,
that'd be awesome.
Oh, no shit, man. That's awesome as hell.
I would be honored to know that there's active military listening to this podcast.
That would be awesome, and that would definitely be something that I know you're going to be proud of, but I'd be proud of for sure. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
And with that being said, thank you for your service. Anybody that is listening and that might be in the military or have been a veteran before, thank you for your service. And I hope our podcast gets you a little bit of enjoyment throughout the day.
Damn straight.
Absolutely.
Fuck yes.
So speaking of enjoyable, what is it?
I said I like it.
Speaking of enjoyable topics and stuff that we like, I want to talk about some film stuff. And It's another joke that I bring myself into always having it be about me all the time too, because I don't watch that many movies. Well, one of my underlining like resolutions for this year, which I don't do that stuff normally because New Year's resolutions are stupid.
Usually, I think there's like it's in the 70s or 80%. Do not ever like fulfill their resolutions anyway.
Yeah, and they always make those really like out there ones, like, oh, I'm gonna go on a diet and lose a shit ton of weight. Done that whenever I was younger. Stupid. Don't want to do it again. Well, I want to lose weight, but don't want to put that as a goal throughout the year.
I've been working on that before New Year's came, so I'm just hoping to continue.
But I did want to do one thing this year, but it's not just going to be a this year thing, obviously. I want it to continue. I want to watch more movies, but I need to make sure with myself that I'm interested in it, because if it's a movie that someone says, hey, you should watch this, 9 times out of 10, I'm just going to be like, if it's not going to suit my interest for how I'm feeling at the time, I'm not going to watch it.
Oh, I'm like that too. I have to be in a certain mood to watch a certain type of movie.
So we went to a few of my friends I used to work at Piggly Wiggly with, went up to Target not too long ago, and we were looking at. I got this movie called The Lighthouse. It's a movie I've been wanting to watch forever now. It has Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe in it. They just play like two people that work at a lighthouse, and they drive each other mad, honestly.
I have not seen that one.
But while we were there, they showed me another movie called Midsommar, which stars the girl, or the woman, I guess, that plays Paige in Fighting with My Family.
Oh, okay. I can't remember what her name is.
I can't remember it either. It's I would say it's on the tip of my tongue, but it's honestly not. It's like I can tell you how she sounds, I can tell you what she looks like, but daggone, if you ask me what her name is, nope.
Give me a minute and I'll probably figure it out, but go ahead and continue, and if I figure it out, I'll just yell it out.
All right, good. So they tell me you should watch this movie. I wasn't going to pick it up, didn't want to. I'm just like, I might watch it one day, I don't know. But it looked interesting. And then one day while browsing Prime Video for something to watch, because actually I was looking to see if Jacob's Ladder was back on there, and thank God it is. I watched that shit again. While watching Jacob's Ladder, I found that Midsommar was free for a while on Amazon or Prime Video. I'm just like, huh. You know, I have interest in watching this a little bit. It sounds like something that I might be interested in, because what got me the most interested was watching the trailer to it while watching The Lighthouse. And it's basically like, I don't think you'd call it a cult, but it's like a cult-like movie that these people go into or brought into, and they're struggling in a relationship and stuff. It's a really messed up movie once it actually gets into it and everything. And what I thought was crazy is that these two movies are I don't know if they're distributed, but they have the name A24 related to them. So I'm just like, who is this A24 group? What is this? It's an independent film studio that has made movies like Midsommar and The Lighthouse, which The Lighthouse, instant classic. You have to watch it, J-Bomb.
I'll have to check it out.
It's really good. But they're also the people behind Hidden Gems, that's just in theaters right now. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that one.
The one that has Adam Sandler in it and is actually really good.
Yeah.
Dude, whenever I realized that this was the same studio that had a good Adam Sandler movie in 2020 out, and they're the same one that made A Lighthouse, the movie that I've been wanting to see forever, when I finally watched, I loved. I'm just like, okay, what are you guys doing? What have you guys done before? Are you just now like starting to hit your stride or whatever? Well, I was kind of right, because before this, they did movies like Heredity. And I watched...
Hereditary.
Hereditary, that's right, I'm sorry. Yeah, they did that movie, and I liked it, and it was kind of like, there were moments in that movie that I was like, oh, holy shit.
Mm.
And I liked it. I don't think it was a great movie, but I enjoyed it. But another movie they did that I was kind of like happy to see that they did was The Disaster Artist.
I've never heard of that one.
That's the movie about the making of The Room. It has oh shit. Who made The Interview with Seth Rogen? Who was the other guy? Can't remember his name.
James Franco?
Yep, that's it. It had him playing Tommy Wiseau and everything. I've not watched it yet. I really want to, because I've watched most of The Room. And have you seen The Room? Tell me you have.
The Room.
The Room, a 2003 movie, 2003 independent movie.
No, I haven't.
Okay. You need to watch this because it is known as one of the best, worst movies of all time. And The Disaster Artist.
I think I'm looking at it right now. Is it? I looked it up. Well, actually, I looked up A24.
Mm-hmm.
Is The Room got? It says Brie Larson, 2015.
Brie Larson.
The five-year-old boy experiences the outside world for the first time.
That's not The Disaster Artist.
That's Room.
Yo, yeah.
Okay.
The Room 2003. Not 2015, 2003.
Okay.
Look for the name Tommy Wiseau. But dude, if you don't want to look up like actual stats on that on Google, later on after the podcast is over, just look up quotes from The Room.
Okay.
On YouTube. You will have a laugh because they are so badly acted and so poor. You don't have to know the story of The Room to automatically love The Room and everything about it. I don't think you do. In fact, I think it's kind of a detriment if you try to watch the movie and try to pay attention to it. Because to me, I have enjoyed that movie just from the bits and pieces of dialogue that's come from it that I've heard. When I finally sat down and watched a bit of the movie, I kind of got bored.
Well, looking here, though, also A24 did Ex Machina, which was a very popular movie.
And they are behind The Witch, too, which is going to be another one of those movies that I want to watch. So,
yeah.
I honestly thought about it. You can have your Disney Studios stuff, like you can have your Star Wars, you can have your Avengers, and you can have your stuff from whatever the big film company is. You can have your Quentin Tarantino stuff, which is good. I'm not saying it's bad.
I'll keep all that.
Yeah, I'll keep that too. But what I'm saying is, you can have all these big, well-known things. I'll keep continuing to support A24 and these independent films because, man, I'm surprised how good this film studio is. I'm surprised. I did not expect to like someone, like a studio like this, and I firmly am saying this just as someone that has really now discovered them and has looked just at their 2019 work, and I'm just like, man, if they keep this up, they're going to be one of those top dogs one day.
Those big time studios.
Absolutely. They've made another one that's on Prime that I'm probably going to watch eventually that also has Robert Pattinson in it. And honestly, this studio is making me change my mind about the guy. Because I know that he's definitely infamous for being in Twilight. That's obvious. That unfortunate stain will never be completely washed out there.
He's going to be the next Batman.
That's what I was going to say. He was like, people most know him for Twilight Saga, and now he's going to be Batman.
Yeah.
Those are two big cultural... Those are two big cultural things that if there wasn't stuff in between that, which most people don't know about, people will look at that and just be like, holy shit, That's awful. That's an awful choice. But, dude, I swear, if you watch The Lighthouse, he does really good in it. Now, to be fair, I still knew that it was Robert Pattinson. Like, I feel like he's getting better as in his independent movies. The guy that really, like, made me look at him differently and made me really like him as an actor was Willem Dafoe.
I love Willem Dafoe anyway.
Like,
I'm a huge Willem Dafoe fan.
I liked him. Like, I liked him in Spider-Man and stuff, but I never really, like, watched any of his other movies. Like,
Boondock Saints, man.
Yeah, I knew he was in a movie called Antichrist, which apparently he did really well in. I know he's in a video game called Beyond Two Souls with Ellen Page. So I know some of his work.
Fucking John Wick, man. I love Willem Dafoe.
I guess I never really gave him the time of day that he deserved. I never really wanted to pay attention to any of his work. But man, oh man, I watched The Lighthouse, and you know how you're supposed to believe an actor is who they're trying to portray.
Yeah.
I did not, like, while I was thinking and I knew that was Robert Pattinson, there were times where I forgot that was him. I was getting into his character. Willem Dafoe, man, oh man. Within the first 10 minutes, he got me. He got me hooked.
He was gone.
Like, he was not Willem Dafoe. He was this scurvy dog person that worked as the head person at a lighthouse, and he was so good.
He's a damn good actor.
He did such a good job. And like I said, I'll probably mention it like 3 or 4 different times throughout this podcast. You or anybody that's listening to this should watch The Lighthouse. Not only for the acting, not only for the crazy story, but the movie itself, the look of it. It's filmed in old school black and white 35 millimeter film.
Nice.
So aspect ratio's 4:3. It doesn't look like any normal widescreen movie. It's a full black and white movie, and it's so good. It's so crazy. To me, it was crazy that a movie like that could be made now.
That is cool.
It really makes that movie stand out, and I think because of the way it looks and everything, and how well the story. Well, people say the story is bland and stuff. It's not like a complex story, but the story, which I'm not going to talk about too much, other than just 2 men taking care of a lighthouse and they go mad. That's all I'll say. There's more to it.
Yeah.
But the way that they handle that story is so good. I would take 100%. I would take stories that are simpler, that are smaller, and that are shorter, but can tell those stories really well in a way that makes you want to come back and watch the movie. I would take that any day over complex films that you try to understand and it just makes no fucking sense no matter how many times after you watch it. Like those films are equally good, but if you can tell your story, even if it's simple, in a good way that makes the person want to come back and watch it again, I'd take that 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the first Star Wars movie. You think that's a complex story, honestly? No.
No. And really, it was almost considered, the originals were considered pretty much independent films because they was working with a really, really small budget.
Yeah, so it's not like these were big, mind-bending universes yet. Especially the first one. I don't know whenever all the boom and stuff actually occurred after the first, but like whenever the first one was made, that wasn't a franchise. Star Wars wasn't a franchise like it is now that has like multiple complex story arcs that are not regarding the actual main movie stories. It was a simple movie. It was done simple that everyone liked it, and it was a good story. And then Empire Strikes Back came out and blew that one out of the park. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, no, Star Wars changed everything.
Yeah. It's like the first blockbuster movie.
I mean, that's kind of pretty much what you're saying with this A24 is, like Lucasfilm back then was a small, independent little production company, and then now look at it.
Right, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like Disney Pictures and stuff. Now, okay, there are problems with Disney films producing movies that just redo old animated movies just to make them with real people. Like,
yeah, I mean, I understand
like
your point that way a little bit, but honestly, I feel like the remakes, they're bringing it in and making it look real, but I feel like the remakes are kind of more centered towards introducing your children to what you liked when you was their age.
I could understand.
So that way it's something you can kind of sit down with your kids and enjoy together.
I could understand that, but just in comparison, now I have to say I haven't watched any of the new, like, Lion King stuff like that. I haven't watched the new ones, but to me, what I've been hearing is they try to modernize a lot of stuff in the movies. If it's not as good as what the original 2D animated movie was, if it doesn't like match the quality of those movies, then you're making this new release weaker by comparison, automatically. People are always going to go back then and go, well, I'd rather them watch the cartoon than watch this one because, honestly, it just wasn't that good in comparison. Now,
I'll say that, like, with Aladdin did change a few things here and there to kind of modernize it.
Yeah.
But like Lion King almost was shot for shot identical with the cartoon.
And maybe
it only missed a couple of little things that probably would have looked ridiculous if you made it into a live action movie. But aside from that, they kind of just kept everything exactly how it was.
And maybe Lion King isn't the worst offender. I just go to Lion King because it's the one that that reminds me most of, because I feel like that was like the biggest one that started it. It's not, because they had the Jungle Book, and I think that's the one that really kicked off that. But that's the one I go to. It could actually be really good, but I'm talking about like Dumbo and Aladdin.
Aladdin was actually pretty kick-ass. I gotta say.
I mean, it could be, but I feel like if I watched it, I'm going to be like, I'd rather watch the 2D movie. And if I'd rather watch the 2D movie...
I will say, Dumbo wasn't even... after watching Dumbo, I wouldn't call it a remake. I would call it a complete revamp. It was nothing like the original Dumbo.
Was it not? I don't know.
It was almost a completely different story. The only thing that stayed the same was a damn elephant that, it got the feather, it would fly. That's about all.
I think I'm just upset that they don't use their 2D animated studio anymore, that it's shut down.
Yeah.
I think that's all I'm upset about most with this.
No, I mean, even their animated stuff isn't 2D anymore. I mean,
no.
I watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse with my kids. That's 3D, CG all the way through, even though it's still cartoon form.
I mean, that's fine or whatever, and I think that how companies see it, because most, I guess, regular people, unknowing people would see it as, it's like if they see a 3D cartoon, they're going to think, oh, it's more adult and it could be more for family than an actual cartoon 2D animated thing, which is just dumb. It's a dumb way of thinking, but people see it that way.
I mean, for me, the old cartoons and the old 2D will always, in my opinion, just because that's the era I grew up in, to me, that's always going to be better anyway.
Yeah.
I got 27 seasons of Looney Tunes just so I could introduce my kids to it.
Oh, I do too. I have a whole 600 plus cartoon thing case or whatever that has cartoons of Looney Tunes on there. I'm with you on that one.
I love it that it's 2020 and my 5-year-old daughter will run through this house and come up to me and go, meet me, and run off.
They're classics.
Yeah, you can't beat the classics.
And I think that's another thing that I hate about it, because I just feel like they're trying to redo classics. Even though they're not, I understand the argument of they're just trying to introduce it to a new audience.
Yeah.
But, again, if you're doing things that doesn't make them any better than what the originals were, then you're making the new one weak by comparison just to do it.
Yeah.
Just because you want more money from it. Just because you want to quote-unquote modernize something that didn't need to be modernized.
The funny shit is I introduced I had me and my kids do a movie night every Friday or Saturday night, depending on how tired they are from school.
Right.
Most of the time it happens on Saturday. But we did The Lion King, and, my kids were blown away. They loved it. But if they're still awake after it's over, we do another movie. So they were still up, and we did the original Lion King cartoon. And now my son comes in here, and he'd rather watch the old ones.
See, because there's nothing wrong with it.
Now, my daughter, on the other hand, she'd rather watch the new one. So we end up having a fight.
Now,
I flip a coin. I just don't care.
who honestly cares? I mean, really, this shouldn't even be an argument anyways. It's just, it all has to go on taste, honestly.
Yeah. And I mean, you got some people that have a very particular taste, and then you have some people that just like to see movies.
Right.
So, I mean, it's an argument that nobody's going to win and nobody's going to lose.
Right. But
it's still a good topic to discuss every now and then.
But if you want to see movies, for sure, I definitely, and if you're, I would have to say that if you're an adult and you want to see more movies that you're not used to seeing, go definitely check out some A24 movies. You will not be disappointed with most of them.
I looked through a lot of the movies they've done, and I'm going to check some of them out. I've wanted to check out Hereditary for a while. I just haven't had time.
It's good. Like, it's not out of the park amazing, but it's a good movie to watch.
I mean, I'm going to check it out because I saw the trailers for it when it first came out, and I was like, you know what, that looks pretty cool.
There are a couple...
I still will watch it.
There are a couple good, really spooky scenes in there, too. That's really, really cool.
Nice. That's what I like.
Speaking of films, guess what I learned recently?
What's that?
Do you remember, I think it was 2016, 2017, that the Chris Benoit documentary was coming out? That they were going to make a documentary about Chris Benoit and his life?
Yeah.
That has been canceled.
Really?
Apparently so. Okay, so that's actually a really good segue into...
That is a good segue, damn you.
I'm getting better at these segues.
Holy shit, that was slick.
So there was an interview with his son, David Benoit, not too long ago at all, maybe just even a couple days ago from when we're recording this on Thursday. And,
I think it was this past week.
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday, I believe. And one of the things he talked about in there, we'll go over several talking points here in just a minute, but one of the ones I want to bring up just because it relates to films and stuff was they had the people that were making the film had the okay to do it, and they were going to do it all about his career and stuff. However, they were also going to put in the tragedy. And that's where the family had to step in and say, no, you can't do that. And apparently what David said was that they had to get lawyers and stuff involved. And now the film is, not only is the film at a standstill, the film is no longer going to happen because they wanted to put the tragedy in. They didn't want the tragedy, blah, blah, yada, yada. No film for them. No film for us. Because David is
That's a touchy subject.
Yeah, and David is adamant, saying that wasn't his dad that caused that tragedy to happen back in 2007.
Yeah.
And the doctors say that his head, inside his brain, it was like the brain of an 88-year-old that had Alzheimer's.
Yeah, he didn't know what he was doing.
So he was adamant that was not his father, and he wants people to remember his father not for those days that happened, but for the person that he actually was, not the person that was in his shoes, basically.
Yeah.
He talked about how he thinks that WWE should put him in the Hall of Fame, and that's very touchy.
Yeah.
He thinks that they shouldn't censor out his name or whatever. I mean, you can clearly tell he loves his father no matter what. And you can clearly tell that he believes what he says when he says he doesn't think that that was his father. I can't you can't debate what David Benoit thinks. That's his dad. And it's his opinion.
Yeah.
With that being said, I do want to give out my 2 cents, and I know you will as well.
Oh, I'm chomping at the bit over here.
Well, do you want to go ahead and say yours first? I'll save mine.
No, by all means, you go ahead.
I honestly don't believe that it's a good thing to put him in the Hall of Fame for WWE's case, but I don't think that Benoit's wrong, honestly. I'm so in the middle with this situation because, no, the mentality of Chris Benoit that night was not the mentality of Chris Benoit years before then.
Yeah.
That was not the Chris Benoit in the head that we've seen on TV, who won the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 20 and stood there with Eddie Guerrero hugging and crying and ending the show in probably one of the best things we've ever seen, one of the best endings we've ever seen.
Yeah.
That wasn't the same guy. With that being said, though, Chris Benoit killed his wife, his little child, and himself.
Yeah.
There was nobody in his shoes. It was still him, his body, his spirit in there, even if his mind had gone completely haywire.
Yeah.
So he still did it.
He still snapped.
He still snapped, yes. I still more think that David is right because if I would argue any further than that and say he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame or he doesn't deserve his name to ever be mentioned again, I would be going against people with mental illnesses, including myself, who has depression and anxiety issues, which is a mental illness. I would be going against people that have legitimate mental illnesses, and I would be a hypocrite, I feel like. So David's right in the sense that that wasn't his dad.
Yeah.
Mentally, that was not his dad, so it shouldn't be looked at as his dad. With that being said, not everyone believes that to be the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a touchy subject. Me growing up as a wrestling fan, Benoit was always like my top 3 favorite wrestlers all time. Mm-hmm. He was a little guy. He was mean as hell, which me being a short dude, I just love that. When the whole Benoit tragedy happened, I didn't know what to believe. I was one of those people that wanted to believe there was some conspiracy and somebody set it up, and he didn't really do it. But that's not the case. The evidence has proved that he did do it. As far as him going into the Hall of Fame, I would agree with his son. What he done, what Chris Benoit did was tragic. It's unforgivable. And it's brutal, and everybody already knows that. But the history of his career can't be ignored. You can't just say, okay, well, he did this really bad thing, so everybody forget about him. Like I said when we was talking about this before we started the podcast, to me that's almost the same as saying, Hitler was Times Man of the Year one time.
Right.
I think it was back in the 90s. Hitler was Times Man of the Year. Just because this person did something really bad doesn't mean that you can just automatically forget about them. It'd be nice. It'd almost be nice to act like Hitler never existed, but you try to tell that to a Holocaust survivor, they'd be like, yeah, that motherfucker definitely existed.
Right.
When this happened, Vince McMahon came on there and he said, his name will never be spoken of. He'll never be in the Hall of Fame. He will be forgotten. But you can't do that. You can't make a human they just act like they never existed. Even though they want to ignore it, there's still people like me and you. We're doing a podcast about it. There's his son talking about it in these interviews. It's not going to go away. People are still going to think about it, and to kind of turn your back to it and just pretend it never happened ain't the best way to go about it. So, I mean, I agree with his son. He should be in the Hall of Fame, but when he gets in the Hall of Fame, it should be more towards a dedication to his family instead of him.
I think
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. Speaking of what you talked about, conspiracy theories and stuff, there was a conspiracy theory apparently with Kevin Sullivan about stuff like that. He didn't really go into detail what that was, and I don't remember what that whole conspiracy theory is. But they looked into it. They had investigators go towards him, and it wasn't that. It was straight up Chris Benoit went insane.
Yeah.
It was. There's no conspiracies. They've checked into that.
Going back to you talking about them wanting to make the movie, and the family fought it because they also wanted to concentrate on the tragedy in the movie. I would say it would be in poor taste to have some actor, portray Benoit on that night, because, we kind of got the gist of what happened, but we don't know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And for some screenwriter or some writer to fill in the gaps would not be cool. I would say, no, if I was a member of the Benoit family, I would be okay with saying, okay, we do a movie about his career, his life. And then the end of the movie, how some movies that's based on true stories, when it ends with, some text that tells what happened later.
Right.
So, like, at the end of the movie, Chris Benoit, murdered his wife, his son, and killed himself. But then, kind of turn it around and say, due to that, it caused, more testing in professional wrestling to keep this from ever happening again. They're tested constantly for, what was he? It was mostly on human growth hormones. Mm-hmm. So a lot of since that happened, WWE and all the other companies, they test heavily, a whole lot more now for it because of what happened with Benoit. So that's a way you could turn it around and still cover what happened and make a movie.
That's an interesting point you brought up. Not only is WWE testing for steroids more and everything, and all these other companies are too. Another thing that David actually brought up in the interview, he talked about how sports in general, because apparently what he died from and what caused this in general was CTE. And that was not really known about before the tragedy with Chris Benoit, and whenever
it was given to a lot of athletes at that time.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes were taking it, baseball players and everything.
So apparently Chris Benoit, they even talked about David said that, like, some of these big sports can kind of thank his dad. Some of these people can thank his dad for them getting more knowledgeable about the effects of CTE and what it does to the brain. Because that's not something that people can diagnose while someone's alive, or at least they haven't figured out how to do it yet.
And it is true that you can kind of pay thanks to that whole situation for it, because it was within months after what happened with Benoit that Major League Baseball started tightening up their testing. NFL started tightening up their testing. Wrestling started tightening it up. Boxing, everything. All athletics started, tightening up their testing. They were testing for more chemicals, more products, and started regulating a whole lot more. The WWE was releasing people over stuff they had a prescription for at one point. There was a lot of those, violated the wellness policy, because that's how strict their wellness policy became after that incident.
It's really sad, though, that major things have to happen after big tragedies to finally make things better. But that's how the world works, unfortunately. Sometimes
it takes that thing to open your eyes,
this will kind of lead into a comment that I read about a post I made whenever I shared the video on my Facebook. Look at the thing with Dale Earnhardt Sr. that happened at Daytona back in 2001, when last lap he went up the block and he hit the wall hard. It wasn't that hard compared to how other guys have hit the wall at Daytona. Compared to how he's hit the wall at Daytona even a few years back. But it was enough to where, at his age, with the equipment that he was wearing, because I don't think he wore a Hans device, and he had an open-face helmet, the way that he hit was it was almost like perfect to where it killed him.
Yeah.
And I want to call, this might be seen as a call-out. I don't mean to be too negative about it, but I do want to debate this person because he commented on the video after I said my piece on wanting to share it out. Loki, listener of the show, whatever. And by the way, thank you for listening, Loki. I swear I don't mean to sound like a jerk, and I don't want to make it sound like a call out, but I don't disagree. I mean, I disagree with what you said in your comment, and I don't have the comment up. I could look it up. I don't want to click on my mouse while I'm here right now, though. So I'll try to just paraphrase what he said. But he was basically talking about how David should not get anywhere close to a wrestling ring because of what happened with his dad, and that Dale Jr. should have never gotten into NASCAR because of what happened with his dad. And I don't understand that, honestly.
I'll say, Loki, I love you to death, and thanks for listening. Love you.
Yes.
I've even been on Loki's podcast.
Yeah.
Loki's awesome, dude.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Loki. It's just...
No, Loki's a great dude.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, the things that happened with Chris Benoit and the things that happened with Dale Earnhardt were not genetic.
Right.
What happened with Chris Benoit was brought on from medicines that he was taking, supplements he was taking. What happened with Dale Earnhardt, like you said, that there was certain things that they gave racers an option to wear at that time, and now it's not an option after what happened with Dale Earnhardt.
Right, you have to wear a Hans device. You have to wear a closed face helmet. They put in better, safer barriers in there to make sure. Like that was already happening after. Was it Lee Petty, I think? I can't remember. One of the Petty boys, after he died, they started making repairs to the tracks then. But after Dale Earnhardt passed, that's whenever requirements were made. And that's when, because ever since then in American NASCAR, because there's I think there's a Mexican NASCAR. Side note, completely, I know.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
There's a side Mexican NASCAR league or something, or that's affiliated with NASCAR. And someone died there in 2009. But they don't drive the same cars and they don't do the same stuff as American NASCAR does. So
now, also with things like Dale Earnhardt, he wasn't wearing the proper equipment, but also accidents happen.
Yeah, they do.
Just like with that guy that Rey Mysterio accidentally, killed down in Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that video. That was something that happens normally at any wrestling event that Rey Mysterio's at. For some reason, like I said, accidents happen.
He's done it 99.9% of the time perfectly, or at least to the point where he doesn't seriously hurt people, and the one time he does it, it kills somebody.
Yeah.
You can't predict
straight up
that.
accident. And even the wrestler's family held no hostility towards Rey Mysterio because they realized in that business accidents happen.
Right.
Same with Dale Earnhardt, accidents happen. You can't stop it. Even in NASCAR with all the equipment they have, there's still a possibility it could happen.
Oh yeah.
That's why people watch NASCAR. A lot of people watch it for the damn wrecks.
Well, to be fair, a lot of people don't watch NASCAR anymore.
Yeah, it was the big thing in the 90s, but it's kind of died off. There are still NASCAR fans, and God love you. Just like, wrestling, there's wrestling fans and there's people who hate wrestling.
Right.
It's a preferred taste, and if you like it, you like it. You don't. And, it's your own opinion, and great. Everybody gets one. But yeah, with those, like I said, it's not genetic. So to say that David Benoit shouldn't wrestle or Dale Earnhardt Jr. shouldn't race, I wouldn't agree with.
No.
And I mean, look at Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's retired now, right?
He's retired, and while he never won a NASCAR Cup championship, he did do several things that his dad never did. One including winning the Daytona 500 twice.
Yeah, so I mean, he's retired, but look at that career.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
He definitely needed to get behind the wheel of a car and drive it because obviously he was damn good at it.
Yeah, it's not his dad level of career, but unfortunately, whenever you're a son of someone that great, everyone looks to you as if you're going to be as great as they are. And David Benoit actually said this in the interview. He said whenever he gets in the ring, people are automatically going to think that he's going to be as good as his dad was. That's so unrealistic. David Benoit is his own person. And this is going
he's had different trainers. He's led a different life.
Yeah. And this is going to go in my argument with Loki here. David Benoit and Dale Earnhardt Jr. were completely different people from who Dale Earnhardt and Chris Benoit were.
Oh, yeah.
So saying that they don't deserve, or not that they don't deserve, but they shouldn't be in their particular profession because of what happened to their fathers, whether it's tragic in a sad sense. Well, they're both tragic in sad sense, but like tragic in an untimely passing or tragic in a very serious case. That's not fair, and that's like saying that they don't deserve this because of the sins of their father.
Yeah.
And no one deserves to be judged or any. And I'm not. This isn't like a religious thing. This to me is more morally and how people should act. I know people don't see that this way, but to me, I think if you judge by anybody else and not by your own actions, you're not doing something right.
Well, to kind of steal a quote from the original Mortal Kombat movie, every man is responsible for his own destiny.
Right. That kind of, this is nowhere near anything to do with this, but that's like if someone gets in trouble and then the whole group suffers for that one person's mistake. It's like what did the other people do? Just because they're in line, the same line as that person was that got in trouble, now they're suffering the same thing. I hate that. I hate that kind of mindset. That's not how things should be. It should be if one person does something wrong or something bad happens to them. If it's something bad that they can't control, you remember them for who they are, and if it's something bad that just unimaginable, then you try it. Then you deal with their own thing. And then the people associated with them don't really have to deal with that. But they do, but they're still their own people. Am I making sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of times, though, society will automatically, somebody does something, they'll automatically look at the whole family over it, look down on the entire family for it.
Oh, yeah. And David has gotten, another thing he mentioned, he's gotten people online just like downing him and everything, calling his dad a murderer, saying all these bunch of nasty things to him on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. I'm just like, of course. People and social media is so easy to just, everybody has an opinion no matter what, can spout it even if it's just not something you want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, David Benoit knows what his dad did. He don't need people reminding him of it constantly.
Yeah, and
he didn't do anything to deserve that ridicule and that reminder and that heartbreak.
Right.
So he shouldn't be tortured for something he didn't do.
I completely agree. I mean,
and he definitely shouldn't be looked at differently as far as he wants to pursue a career in wrestling. Then by God, give him a chance.
I'll tell you one thing, and this. It doesn't mean shit because I'm just one person and dealing with a business and stuff like World Wrestling Entertainment. I'll just say this, in my opinion. If they don't allow him to be on. Like if he got the okay to come to the performance center and train, to possibly get a job with them, if they don't allow him on TV just because of who he is and what his dad done, like I thought I was done with WWE before.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would make it a mission to make sure that no one watches the show. Like I talk about it, yeah, but I don't like watch the show, and I don't tell people to watch their shows. And I think they're horrible for accepting blood money and stuff like that. But that's neither here nor there. I've talked about it before, whatever. But that's not what I'm talking about. If they honestly would stop David Benoit from coming into WWE and working because of Chris and what he did, that's insane.
I feel like, if they gave him a shot, that would be awesome because he deserves a shot. Everybody deserves a shot.
Yeah.
But me and you talking before the podcast, you said that he wants to wrestle under the name Chris Benoit Jr. Mm-hmm. If he went to WWE, that would not happen.
No. Okay, so there is things that even I have to be like, that's a bit too much. There's no way. And that's unrealistic. Like,
yeah.
If he
honestly, it's not just unrealistic. It's, I mean, I don't really know how to exactly to word it. It's just, it's bad judgment.
Yeah.
And it's in poor taste.
I think,
a lot of wrestlers are second and third generation superstars, and I like the ones that don't. They acknowledge that they're a second or third generation superstar, but they don't. They acknowledge it when people come to them about it, but they don't ride it as something in their career.
Right.
Like like The Rock did his own thing. Yeah, we all know his dad and his grandpa, but
rest
Rock
in peace,
was
Rocky Johnson. By the way.
Yes. Also, yeah. By the way, that happened yesterday.
Yeah, it was very recent.
Which will be this past Wednesday for everybody else. But yeah, rest in peace, Rocky Johnson. But like The Rock, he did his own thing. He didn't ride his career being Rocky Johnson's son. And same with David Benoit. If he came in wanting to be Chris Benoit Jr., that's just throwing it right in your face that, hey, I'm his son.
Yep.
He should start his own path. And not use that name to build a career on anyway.
I think to start out, it'd be okay just for like a year or so. Just so I feel like he'd be just doing that to get people to look at him.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to continue to do it and continue to be better, you'd have to take that name off. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know he loves his dad. I know he wants people to remember his dad for other things other than that. But yeah. I feel like it would be career suicide if he did.
It is. If you think about it, if he went into wrestling with that name, it would automatically curse him in that business.
And you said the perfect word right there. Business. Business is not morally set on anything.
No.
Business doesn't give a shit whether or not.
They don't care about your family.
Right. If they did something bad, they want to get that badness as far away as possible to make sure they get the most people coming in and being positive and spending money on them.
To quote Vince McMahon, it'd be what's best for business.
Exactly, yeah. So if you did that and if you automatically put your name as Chris Benoit Jr. trying to get into a place like WWE, you're done. There's no way.
Yeah.
And
you screwed yourself before you walked through the door.
And honestly, if he tried to do that, I would have to be on WWE's side with this. I mean, you try to go in there and try to call yourself Chris Benoit Jr. Dude, it's unfortunate and it's sad, but your dad, this stuff did happen with your dad in WWE while he was employed with WWE. They are a business. Now, I feel like I'm being hypocritical by saying that because morally, my moral side is just screaming at me right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's but you have to be realistic with it too. And realistically, you can't do that being in a business. And I think people forget.
And I mean, honestly, the Chris Benoit situation is the biggest point that shows that that it's not even split down the middle. There's more people that hate the idea of Chris Benoit ever being involved with anything than there are people that think he should.
Right.
So that's career suicide.
I'll tell you this. Here's my opinion on David Benoit and what I feel like his potential is if he got in the WWE. If he got anywhere in professional wrestling and he became a big-time star. David Benoit has the opportunity to fix a legacy that has been tarnished by 1 3-day period. David Benoit has
That's a very good point.
He has the ability to, and I believe that the interviewer that did the interview with Dave Benoit did mention this, but I firmly agree, and to an extent I over-agree, if this makes any sense. But I feel like if he gets into this and he's serious and he does this and he does as much stuff as his dad did, he has the potential of almost, not completely because it'll always be there,
yeah,
but he has the potential to rub off the Benoit name.
He has a chance to give that name the respect back a little bit.
Again, you don't even have to go by Benoit in the ring. He probably will at one point. I don't think there's a problem with going as Benoit.
I mean, that would be okay.
Yeah, if he went by his regular name, David Benoit or Dave Benoit or something like that.
Yeah, that would be okay.
That's fine, but if you're starting out, I wouldn't automatically go Chris Benoit Jr.
God, no.
That's absolutely asking for bad things to happen when you first start out.
Yeah. Because, I mean, everybody already, especially in that business, everybody already has a bad taste in their mouth from that name.
Right. I mean, it's been almost 20, more like 15 years.
About 15, yeah.
Yeah. It's almost been 15 years. So I feel like minds are starting to finally clear because it's been a while since then. But it's not like it's been 30, 40, half a day or half a century. It's not been that long. People still remember it.
Yeah.
You have to be smart about it. And I think if David Benoit is serious and he's smart about it, then this could be one of the biggest comeback stories, not only in professional wrestling. This could be one of the biggest comeback stories for a name, a family legacy of all time, of anything that's ever been thought of.
Yeah.
Benoit, the name of Benoit, who has been tarnished because of unfortunate circumstances, whether it be due to WWE or due to professional wrestling in general at the time or not, happened. And and his son was able to ratify 85% of it.
Yeah.
I think that'd be one of the best stories of all time. Honestly, you can't tell me that if he was doing this, and of course you're going to have people that say you shouldn't be here, you're a bunch of naysayers doing that to him, but he can prove them wrong if he's really good. He can shut people up if he takes it serious. And I hope, for his sake, if he's serious about it, that this happens. And I
also believe in the standpoint, though, that if he comes in and he sucks, get rid of him.
That's true, yeah. If he's not good, he shouldn't be in any position where he's going to stink up the joint, because he'll further hurt the legacy of the Benoit name.
He'll drag it through the mud then. If they keep him on because of who he is, whose son he is, that's a bad thing.
Right.
If he gets on there and he sucks, then for God's sake, let him go. Because if you leave him there and you keep giving him more chances and he still sucks, then people are going to be like, oh, well, WWE only kept him around because he's Chris Benoit's son.
Let's take a bet real quick. Not a real bet. We're not going to actually bet money, but let's
because I don't have any.
Yeah, same. But, okay, so if Benoit gets into it, definitely not this year, but by next year or the year after, do you see AEW picking him up? Because he said in the interview that Chris Jericho is one of his best friends. One of his best wrestling friends, anyways.
I would see AEW picking him up before I would see WWE picking him up.
Oh, 100%. But the thing is, would they be doing that simply just to get ratings? And if so, is that a good thing? Because it can't be. It couldn't be good for AEW to get Dave Benoit so early.
I would say if I didn't know, about him and Jericho being buddies, I would say that they were doing it because of his name.
Mm-hmm.
But because him and Jericho are friends, it changes things.
It does a bit, I think, but man, oh man, I just know you're gonna hear it a lot from people.
Yeah, no matter what you do, you're gonna hear from people about it.
Oh yeah, I don't think it should happen anytime soon. What I found out is that David Benoit is only 27 years old, so he's only a year older than I am. It shouldn't be anytime soon. If he hasn't fully started getting into wrestling, he shouldn't be even considering getting into AEW yet.
Oh no, if he's not TV worthy, he needs to work his way up the ladder like everybody else did.
Yeah. By the time he's around 32, 33, 34, something like that, test the waters.
Yeah.
Take him to, I don't know, you can't, I don't know if WWE would let him in the Performance Center. I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure.
I feel like he needs to start out, if he's worthy enough, he needs to start out in the independent leagues like every other wrestler did, and get a name for himself as a wrestler, work on his craft, get better, get picked up by a bigger company, get better, get picked up by a company even bigger, and do it right.
Right. I agree with that.
Like everybody else has done.
Yeah.
Even people down like, Randy Orton. Randy Orton started out, what was that, Florida wrestling?
Yeah.
He had to earn his keep. He had to hone his craft to be worthy to play with the big boys.
Everybody does.
David Benoit is no different. He needs to hone his craft and be worthy to be on TV and entertain before giving him a chance.
Right.
I mean, he should be in those high school gymnasiums doing these little house shows and stuff like that. Earn it.
That's how you learn.
That is. That's how they all learn. That's how all of them get their start. Well, most of them. But that's and that makes your better wrestlers is the ones that's busted their ass and worked to be the best at what they do and got there. Mm-hmm. Not anybody that was given any free tickets because of who they are or what their name is.
Right. I agree.
Like actually even Chris Benoit himself. That dude was in Stu Hart's fucking dungeon as a kid learning, and he busted his ass to get to where he got. It wasn't just handed to him.
I wish David Benoit the absolute best. I really do.
Oh yeah, I do. Best of luck to him. I hope he lives all of his dreams out and achieves his goals.
And I hope, because he said too that the family is trying to talk with WWE about Hall of Fame stuff. Maybe.
I doubt they'll ever pull it off.
I kind of doubt it too. I mean, they're trying. I'll give them that. They're trying, but like I mentioned, WWE's a business.
Yeah.
Business doesn't run on human emotions. They run on.
I mean, if you're ice skating uphill, you're still trying. It don't mean you're going to get to the top of that hill.
Honestly, that might be an issue with like maybe once Vince is gone. Unfortunately, I don't want to say that as in like a morbid type deal, but like. Let's say if like Stephanie and Triple H are ahead of it, I feel like you might get a lot more accomplished with that than.
I disagree. I think they would be as hard to convince as Vince McMahon would be.
You think so?
Because they were there for it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
They were there when it all went down, and they lived it backstage with Vince and everybody else.
Yeah, that is a very good point. It's not like how they got Bruno in there. They weren't there whenever the stuff with Bruno Sammartino and Vince McMahon happened, and Triple H could get Bruno in there after he talked with him for a while and finally got him to make an appearance. This is a different beast, 100% entirely.
Oh yeah, it's not even the same ballpark. It's not even the same fucking sport.
Right. So.
Yeah.
I mean.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
It's possible. Likelihood. Very low.
Yeah.
Want to mention a couple other things from the interview that I found interesting. David did say he 100% believes that the biggest part that led to the Benoit tragedy was Eddie's passing, which we all knew. I feel like that was his best friend, and once Eddie passed away, that really got to Chris. I mean, we all knew that, but to hear it come straight from his son's mouth, I mean, I feel like
they grew up together. They were brothers. They came into business together. Their families, were together. I mean, that's like losing a brother.
Right.
And I mean, it had a very, very bad impact on Chris. To use it as an excuse, I'd say no. Everybody loses family.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in that case, I've buried best friends. It's not going to cause me to snap and kill anybody, but also I'm not taking a shit ton of supplements. It's altering my brain either.
You're also not getting a bunch of chair shots to the head. That's also affecting that.
Yeah, and I'm not doing diving headbutts off the top rope either.
That's true. Something else he mentioned was that he was really trying to talk him into retiring. And he said in 2006 he talked to him one day during a break about retiring, and he was thinking about it. He wanted to do his own wrestling school. He even had T-shirts and stuff made up for it. The last time he talked to his father was around Father's Day of, I want to say 2007, because that would have been June. I think he died in July, maybe. It's been too long. It might not have been 2007. It might have been 2006. I don't know. But he said that was the last time he's talked to his father. It had to have been 2007. I don't know.
I think it was closer to probably 06, maybe 05 even.
Maybe, because I know Benoit died in 2007. I can't remember what month now though, because Eddie died in November 2005. I'll never forget that. Because it was right before Survivor Series. And then Benoit died, and then David said that he talked to his dad one last time then, got to tell him he loved him one last time. What other notable things was in this interview that I can think of right offhand? If you couldn't tell that I was really invested in this interview, because I feel like this is the first legit time we've heard from someone that close to Benoit that isn't Chris Benoit, because you can't listen, because you can't hear him anymore.
No.
So it was almost therapeutic almost to hear him talk about it, because you'll hear other wrestlers talk about it, Triple H, Jericho, Cena, whatever, but it doesn't hit the same as you would hear David talk about this stuff. And it was kind of nice to hear him finally open up this much about stuff with his dad and everything.
A little bit more of a sense of closure to the whole subject.
Yeah, it really, like, as many questions that I've had that I knew the answer were to them, like the whole Eddie thing was a big one to me. That was just like, it's good to hear it from the mouth of the son of the person that this happened to.
Yeah.
It was nice to hear it. If you haven't listened to the full interview, it's about 40 plus minutes long. It's really good. The guy that does the interview does a really good job of making David feel comfortable while still asking him some personal questions and stuff. It was a really good interview. I must say, good job for that interviewer. Good job.
He did a good job interviewing him without putting Chris Benoit under fire.
Exactly. Yeah, he did a great job, I thought. What else was I going to mention? Oh, something interesting. I think that David might have said something he might have didn't want to say, but he was in the moment and he said it, and he kind of like tried to stop himself. They were talking about the CTE case, and then he mentioned something to the effect of, like, you remember the wrestler Christopher Nowinski?
Yeah.
So after he stopped wrestling and stuff, he became like someone backstage at WWE. But apparently Christopher Nowinski was the guy that was one of the main reasons of maybe not one of the main reasons, but he had a lot to do with bringing to light the CTE stuff in WWE.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. He was a big name back there for that.
And so apparently Benoit said that he accepted money for WWE on something. And then the interview is like, what are you talking about exactly? And then I think Benoit didn't want to like go further into that. So I don't know if he like kind of like realized he fucked up, or I don't know. Maybe he did do it on purpose, but I feel like it was just one of those things where you're not thinking, you're in the moment, and you start talking, and then something slips out that you don't mean to say because it's supposed to kind of be like a more hush-hush thing.
Got caught up in a conversation that he probably had to sign an agreement not to speak about.
Right. So he said something about Chris accepting money from WWE, but then he doesn't go into further detail, and he tries to like continue on, which they do. They don't spend too much more time after that. But whenever he says that, I look at the interviewer, and the interviewer's like, he doesn't say it, but his face is just like, what? But ever since that interview, did you just say? Exactly. But ever since that interview, I haven't heard anybody online like bring that point up to anything. I wonder if that's actually been a known thing that I just didn't know about, or if there's something more to it that is kind of like secretive that I don't know.
Probably more of a legal thing.
Probably. It's probably nothing to really even worry and talk about, honestly. It's like you said, it's a legal issue and stuff like that, but I just found that really interesting that David brought that up, realized that he brought something up he probably shouldn't have, and then he tried to ease out, which they eased out of it relatively well. It wasn't like something that he hammered into the ground like he wanted to know, the interviewer, but I just found that part really interesting.
Yeah. Huh.
So I would definitely recommend any wrestling fans that listening to us, definitely recommend the interview. It's interesting, and if you were a wrestling fan during the time of the unfortunate deaths of Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit, just even for both of them, I feel like this is good closure. More so for Benoit in that tragedy than the Eddie thing.
Yeah. If I get time, I'll check it out.
Definitely, I would recommend it. It's a good listen. Benoit, he does tear up every now and then, because he does go into it. It still affects him, dude. I mean, that's his dad.
Oh yeah.
That happened with his father. I mean, I couldn't imagine. It's crazy.
It's gonna be like that with anybody, you know.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather's been gone for 30 years, but you bring him up to my dad, and he'll still bring a tear to his eye. You know, that's your dad.
Exactly.
You know?
And then knowing that your dad had to be something like this happened to him.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Well, I don't mean to put it on a depressing note, but this has been a very good podcast, I think.
I agree.
I've enjoyed this podcast. Honestly.
Very in depth.
Very in depth. I think we
made
some
hard issues.
Good early podcast of the year. Can't be wrong with that. Can't go bad with anything like that.
2020 running.
Good.
Yeah.
Need something to make up for last week. Holy shit. At least from not saying the podcast was bad, but just like my attitude towards things is like I'm still getting comments about the cut.
I knew you would.
I knew I would too. Oh well. Hey J-Bomb, what shows do we have? We know we got a big one this week.
Yeah, but since this podcast goes out Saturday, it'll be yesterday when it happened.
That is true. I thought it was happening Saturday. I'm dumb. Damn it.
Yeah. Skinner's birthday party at Riverside will actually be the night before this goes on. So
hope everyone had fun with that. Damn.
I'm sure they did.
I was on such a roll too. I was doing so well, and then I forget that that's on Friday instead of Saturday. What's wrong with me?
You'll be all right.
Damn it. Any other shows happening this weekend?
What I'm here for?
Thank you.
I don't know.
we gotta get better with this.
I know. I keep dropping the ball on this. It's like I'm like on podcast day. I'm just ready to do a podcast, and like I'm just waiting for 9:00 for us to do this. And then I realized like 5 minutes before we're about to go on, I'm like, fuck, there was stuff I was supposed to do. Damn it.
Hey, we're only 21 episodes in. It's okay. We'll get better.
Yeah.
21 down, like hundreds of more to go, hopefully. Crossing your fingers.
First 10, I had that shit wrote down and stuff. I'm getting lazy.
Dude, this is the first, like, minus the Christmas episode, this is the first one where we've had topics to pick up and everything.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Which I didn't know we were going to have.
You didn't, and then I told you.
I got all with you tonight, and I was like, so what are we going to talk about? And he was like, I actually have topics. I'm like, holy fuck, really? You have topics?
It's nice whenever I actually have an episode that's kind of structured.
Yeah, and they usually work out pretty well.
Tonight even flowed really well, too. I was afraid that, I was thinking, how do I go from talking about films to talking about a Dave Benoit interview?
And you segued into that perfect, my friend. God.
Man, I feel like we're...
Kudos to you.
Dude, I feel like we're tapping ourselves on the back. Let's go on to the advice portion. I hate doing this shit. I hate it. I feel like we're going to get people saying, oh, they're so self-congratulatory, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, no, we surprised...
These two guys are kissing each other's ass through this whole podcast.
It's like, no, we surprise ourselves when we actually do good shit. Shut up.
Yeah, I'm shocked, you know.
Talk with the last bit.
Forgive me, everybody. I just didn't know I was capable of this, okay?
Exactly, you know.
Yeah.
We think we suck 95% of the time. When we do something good, we got to at least say it. At least what we think is good. Shut up.
We were out the rest of the week going, damn, I did good on that podcast.
Let us have our 5 moments of fame.
Yeah, we don't even get 15, man. Just give us 5.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't even want a third of what you'd be offering. Just give us 5. That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, how about some advice to end the show?
All right, let's do some advice.
I have some pretty good advice, and it goes back into the Dave Benoit interview a little bit. Last thing I wanted to mention, we mentioned that he was good friends with Chris Jericho and everything, which is awesome. I would love to be friends with Chris Jericho. I think that'd be like one of the best, one of the funnest, most interesting friends I could ever have.
I could totally hang out with Jericho, yeah.
But one of the things he said was kind of the thing he said that his dad gave him advice-wise. And we're going to give that advice here. No matter who you're around and no matter what people try to do to you, don't take any shit from anyone.
Damn straight.
Don't let people get to you. Don't take anything. Don't take nonsense. Don't take shit from anyone. You do you. You do the best to your abilities. And damn it, if people start getting in your way with something or another, fuck them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and I'm one of those that if I deserve it, I'll take shit. But if I know I'm right, if I'm right, motherfucker, we'll go back and forth.
Oh, absolutely.
Actually, I'm glad that was your thing this time because there's guys at work that'll tell you this. You know, our boss is a really cool guy. But sometimes he gets in these grouchy-ass moods where he thinks he can just argue with you about shit.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the guys at the office will just hang their head and take an ass chewing. He comes at me with that shit, and I know I'm in the right. They have watched us at the office argue back and forth where we're nose to nose to each other, talking shit to each other.
You have told me a couple of those stories where that actually did happen.
Yeah. My boss has actually grabbed his paperwork, walked out the office, got in his car, and drove off.
That happened.
I mean, yeah, and it's because he knew I was right, and later he admitted I was right.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I'm in the wrong, I'll take it, but, you know, like you said, don't take shit from anybody.
Right, because once you do, you kind of labeled yourself as someone that's just, like, going to deal with whatever someone gives them, even if it's bad. And you don't want to label yourself as that.
Yeah, and also, once you take shit from somebody, they're going to think they can keep giving it to you.
Yep. That's the big one.
Yep.
So don't even let that happen. Stay strong. Stay with what you believe in, and don't take anybody's bullshit.
Stay golden, pony boy.
What? Stay golden, pony boy.
That's a movie way before your time. I knew when I said it, I was like, Puddy's going to say what?
Yeah.
That's an old movie called The Outsiders. Check it out.
Oh, that's another movie that's on my list of movies to watch.
Yeah.
Misery, The Outsiders. I actually did watch. Oh shit!
Hey, come on, man! The Outsiders had
Fuck.
freaking Rob Lowe and Charlie Sheen and Patrick Swayze. I mean, Ralph Macchio. I mean, fucking Outsiders.
Fuck! What was the movie called? It's a Wonderful Life. That's it.
Yeah.
Finally watched that. Well, you should have known it had something to do with my interest. Christmas.
Yeah, you and fucking Christmas.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, you shut your face. You're getting a Halloween episode this year.
You damn Skippy, I am.
But but we're also doing a Christmas in July episode this year. Anyways, let's end this episode.
What the fuck?
Let's end this episode right. J-Bomb, take it away, my friend. I hope everyone enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed the episode as much as we enjoyed talking.
J-Bomb, we're not doing a 4th of July episode. Or a Christmas in July episode. I was just kidding.
I was going to boycott the fuck out of that idea. But anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed listening. Hope you keep listening to us. If this is your first time, go back and listen to the other 20-something episodes that we've done. If this one wasn't your cup of tea, I bet you we've made a couple that you do like.
Yeah. And hopefully they'll be on all the podcasting apps. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully we'll hit all 9 next time.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. Depends on how good Puddy is at uploading.
I mean, apparently not very good because I sucked this last one out.
I know going to be a little late on this one, but since we did talk about the day before this goes out being Skinner's birthday bash, I won't be getting to make it. So Skinner, if you're listening, when you do listen, happy birthday, brother. Love you. Yeah,
happy birthday, Uncle Sean. Skinner, I unfortunately won't be able to make it either. I have to work, so hope you have fun and it's a good birthday. Be safe, be careful, stay mad. I didn't want to say J-Bomb's thing, so.
Because I'm about to.
Yeah.
But anyway, we will talk to you next week. Hope everybody has a great week up until then. So for Puddy, I'm J-Bomb. Everybody stay metal.